Jenna hurried along the deserted street. Streetlights flickered, casting long, dancing shadows. A chill wind whispered through the trees, carrying the scent of distant rain. Her footsteps echoed in the silence, each one a hammer blow against the quiet. Jenna clutched her bag closer, a nervous tremor running down her spine. She hated walking alone at night, especially on this street. The houses, dark and silent, seemed to watch her with unseen eyes. She quickened her pace, longing for the safety of her apartment. Ahead, under the sickly yellow glow of a streetlight, a figure stood motionless. Jenna's breath caught in her throat. It was too far to make out details, but something about the way it stood, utterly still, sent a shiver down her spine. Jenna slowed her steps, torn between the urge to flee and a strange compulsion to see who it was. Her heart pounded a frantic rhythm against her ribs. A trick of the light, she told herself. Just a trick of the light. As she drew closer, the figure swam into focus. It was a woman, tall and slender, wearing a long, dark coat. Her face, pale and heart-shaped, was turned towards Jenna, and she was smiling. The smile was all wrong. Stretched far too wide, revealing a flash of teeth that gleamed unnaturally white in the dim light. Her eyes, wide and unblinking, seemed to bore into Jenna's soul. A wave of pure, primal fear washed over her. Jenna's feet pounded against the pavement. She didn't dare look back, but she could feel the woman's eyes on her, cold and sharp as shards of ice. Her breath came in ragged gasps, each one a painful rasp in the silence. The street seemed to stretch on forever, the rows of silent houses closing in on her. Fear lent wings to her feet, but no matter how fast she ran, she couldn't shake the feeling that the woman was getting closer. Section 5. An unearthly gate. A flicker of movement in the corner of her eye. Jenna risked a glance back. The woman was closer now, gliding over the ground with an unnatural, effortless grace. Her smile never faltered, a grotesque mockery of normalcy in the heart of the nightmare. Jenna stumbled, her ankle twisting beneath her. Pain shot up her leg, but she couldn't stop, not now. The woman was almost upon her, her smile a terrifying promise of something unspeakable. Ahead, she saw the familiar outline of her apartment building. Hope surged through her, tinged with desperation. She could make it just a little further. She fumbled for her keys, her fingers numb and clumsy with fear. The click of the lock turning was the sweetest sound she had ever heard. She slammed the door behind her, throwing the deadbolt into place with a trembling hand. Leaning against the door, she slid to the floor, her chest heaving. Minutes crawled by. Jenna slowly uncurled from her huddle by the door, her body still buzzing with adrenaline. Cautiously, she peered through the peephole. The street was empty. The smiling woman was gone. Relief, fragile and tenuous, washed over her. It was over. She was safe. But even as the thought formed in her mind, a chilling certainty took root in her gut. It wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Drawn by an unseen force, Jenna moved to the window. The streetlight across the street flickered and died, plunging the street into darkness. And then, she saw it. Scrawled across her window, in what could only be described as blood-red lipstick, was a single, chilling message. See you soon. The words hung in the air, a promise and a threat all in one. Jenna stumbled back from the window, her heart a drumbeat of terror in her chest. The smiling woman was gone, but her presence lingered, a palpable menace that seeped into the very walls of her apartment. Sleep, when it finally came, was a fitful, dream-haunted thing. Every creak of the floorboards, every sigh of the wind against the window, sent a jolt of fear through her. The smiling woman's words echoed in the silence of her mind, a chilling refrain that chased away any hope of peace. The sun, when it finally rose, brought little comfort. The smiling face, etched into her memory, followed her every move. The world, once mundane and safe, was now tainted, forever marked by the chilling encounter. And deep inside, where the shadows of fear danced, Jenna knew, with a certainty that chilled her to the bone, that this was only the beginning.